overseeing more than 1 million active duty service members, ongoing military operations, and any crisis that may pop up.
That's a huge change. I'm not sure that he's actually felt the full weight of that quite yet.
Dave Barner is a retired Army general and defense analyst.
He's certainly going to be close to President Trump. He's going to have Trump's confidence, but he's also going to have to find a way to stand for something for the Defense Department, and there's going to have to be some red lines that he won't cross.
At this point, there's no indication of any red lines for Shanahan. Mattis resigned over Trump's decision to remove all U.S. troops from Syria, a move the top general in the region said he would not have recommended. For his part, Shanahan has been silent on the issue, even though that policy has now changed and some U.S. forces will remain. Some analysts believe that Shanahan will continue playing to his strengths, technology development and business management side of the Pentagon, keeping an eye on projects and weapon systems, and finding ways to counter a resurgence in China and Russia. That makes sense to retired Army General Jack Keane.
Russia and China have caught up to the technological advantage that we've had in most areas, and certain areas have gone past us.
Like China and Russia's focus on everything from hypersonic missiles and cyber attacks.
Like China stealing intellectual property and giving technology and basically an economy with a $500 billion deficit for decades.
We will likely see policy decisions, everything from North Korea to Iran, to the more hawkish members of the administration. Retired Admiral Jim Stavridis, in an email to NPR, said Shanahan's nomination will mean Secretary of State Mike Pompeo
and National
China Security Advisor John Bolton will be what he calls the drivers of international security decisions.
Oh, doesn't look too bad, I heard. As far as the road is concerned.
Bolton and Pompeo have very strong views, and they have the president's ear on these issues, and I think their voices are going to carry a tremendous amount of weight in the face of the White House, perhaps more than Shanahan.
Defense analyst Michael O'Hanlon says Shanahan has been under Mattis's wing, learning about the geostrategic issues of the day. But what concerns O'Hanlon is the possibility of a new and more dangerous challenge under Shanahan's watch, something far more dire than the Islamic State and involving North Korea, China, or Russia.
A new threat to South Korea or to Taiwan or to Estonia or Latvia, Poland, the kind of thing that Russia or China could decide to do if they got more reckless, less risk-averse. And so far, the rubber hasn't really hit the road on a new crisis, but it could.
And with the steadying voice of Jim Mattis gone, says O'Hanlon, what's left is a team a little less tested by issues of war and peace. Tom Bowman, NPR News, Washington.
NPR News.
Uber hits the stock market tomorrow.
Negative Trump
its
news.
value may reach $90 billion.
Amazon's trucks are starting to roll through Colorado Springs.
Profit. Uber's made money, but not more than it has spent. Uber leaders have a story about how they'll be profitable one day, and that story is directly at odds with the populist movement sweeping America. Here's NPR's Arti Shahani.
Uber's plan is simple: become a monopoly in transportation. Uber will use the money Wall Street pumps into its corporate veins to deal a death blow to the ride-hailing competition, like Lyft, to take over food delivery as well as the trucking industry. Also, Uber's self-driving cars will replace human drivers, saving money that way.
That's really the golden goose for
Yeah,
Uber.
replacing humans is the golden goose. Remember that.
He says Uber is a great...
You think they give a shit about your upward mobility? Fuck no. The golden goose is to replace humans. And not just in transportation, in as many sectors as possible.
saying they'll smash tech monopolies like Amazon. But
we believe it's manageable, and right now the bark's worse than the bite.
I've seen many analysts take comfort in the example set by another tech giant, Facebook. It ran roughshod over privacy laws and raised alarms over monopoly behavior, and the government didn't really put a stop to it. After the CEO said he expected to pay a multi-billion-dollar fine to regulators, his stock jumped more than 7%. That was investors saying, the fine isn't a real threat, we're betting on your future. If the progressive presidential candidate won the 2020 election, that would be a real threat to Uber.
At Uber's headquarters, there'd be a lot of alcohol, even though there would be dark events.
To buy Uber stock at Hold On,
Oh, really?
it should seem that history is a catalyst that the ride of which to get as big as it is will not be lost anytime soon. Matt Stoller, fellow at the Open Markets Institute, describes that route. He says Uber just showed up in cities, ignored the rules governing taxi cabs, even hid from government employees.
They go into cities, they get a bunch of customers, and then they get those customers to lobby their city council to change the law.
In the next phase, Stiller says, Uber will try to steamroll over antitrust laws. Only today is different from, say, 2012, when Facebook went public. During the Clinton and Obama years, the top Democrats did not take on corporate power, and that was a departure from...
Of course they didn't. They were working with Facebook and corporate power. They let them bloom to what they are today, to violate all the privacy laws they could.
White-collar America. And
They were just sitting there laughing. They took a picture with the CEO.
And then there are the workers, the populist movement at the grassroots.
Oh, the workers that we want to replace.
In their cars, circled the company headquarters, honking to demand a living wage.
And they want a fucking increase in a minimum wage. Doesn't get any worse. Doesn't get any better. This is exactly how you destroy the economy.
Mustafa Rafat has been driving Uber for almost 4 years, and he says he's never rallied before.
And what country are you from? A Middle Eastern country? Oh my God.
California court ruling says Uber and Lyft drivers may be employees entitled to benefits. He got to go to the state capitol and meet with the governor about it. Over in New York, another major market, drivers want a minimum wage. Even if these are outliers, McLeod says, his boss Uber's position is weakening.
If they're not going to reach out to us, the law will force them to.
Uber's
Oh,
been
really?
ramping up for that fight. They've hired top Democrats and donated almost exclusively to that party. These old tricks of the trade may not do enough to mute the populist momentum, though what Uber is really worth will depend on it. Arthi Shahani, NPR News, San Francisco.
Oh God, from straight out of the liberal state. The liberal open border state. Gotta believe it if it's coming from the liberal open border states. I mean, their cost of living is bearable, isn't it?
Today in Kentucky, Louisville officials decided to remove a controversial statue after almost 2 years of debate.
Oh God, because it hurt my feelings.
The monument shows a man on a horse. The
I don't want to see a man on a horse. You're abusing that horse.
scrutiny after the violent white supremacist rally in Charlottesville
Sure.
2 years ago. As Ashley Stevens of Member
And based off of that incident or that event, we'll continue to demand that you tear down historical landmarks so that we can forget America altogether.
Long after the Charlottesville rally in 2017, people in Louisville took to the streets.
And the fact that these guys are still talking about it on NPR, they got to bring it up, you know. Well, we're being successful, our liberal movement of removing historical statues and all the other things we love to do. We keep referencing an incident that occurred. I can't stand hearing these guys because all they do is circle around events so they can talk about taking away more of your individual rights. I'm telling you, collectivism never wins. That's exactly what these guys do. They start getting around, well, you shouldn't do this, well, you can't do that. Well, start limiting every little thing that you could do or say off of. You set a precedence when you start removing statues of historical significance. I hope you at least did some analysis so that you could be concerned about the repercussions. Instead, we're just in there, like he's saying, oh, we're interpreting things, let's tear them down, they're hurting people's feelings. And of course, there's special interest groups behind moving these types of things out of the way. Let's forget America altogether. Let's forget capitalism. Let's forget individual rights. Let's forget the Bill of Rights. Let's forget the Constitution so that we can have a socialist utopia like Venezuela in which a few people control the mass. That's what all of this leads to. And NPR is one of the biggest pushers of this liberal movement. This is NPR. Shutting down sectors of the economy, consolidating money, collecting higher taxes. Look at California. It's a smaller model of socialism. The cost of living sucks. The rent sucks. Your vehicles are getting taken. That's why it's so expensive for gas. Of course, they're not going to come and say, give me your car and then take it that way. All they're going to do is increase the registration fees, increase the gas prices, put additional gas taxes on everything until you finally say, hell, I should just take public transportation. It's made a lot easier for me. And then you give up your vehicle because you're like, I'm going to take the bus, you know. And then you think it's fun and it takes you 3 fucking hours to get across the city and shit. Because you got to stop and the train's got issues and people got issues. I'm telling you, dude, it's the liberal movement. Less individual freedom, less individual rights, and more collectivism. Like sheep, let's put you on a bus and shuttle you into the zones that we designate as shuttleable, whether we want you to go there or not.
Buried. For NPR News, I'm Ashley Stevens in Louisville, Kentucky.
For Sellout News, I'm in Kentucky. Sell the American People Out News agenda, I'm in Kentucky. Being funded by the Rockefellers, I'm in Kentucky. And I think everyone should have less because I have more now. I'll be right back. I'll leave this on, see if it records. Alright, we are back. Gonna go and grab a few things, come back out.
Everyone is with the Center for Science and the Public Health. The board captain gets to decide where on the shelves their products will go and where on the shelves their competitors' products will go.
Yeah, and according to Julia, there's more. If you're the company that pays the most in fees, she says you also get access to your competitors' data.
Yes,
Oh.
and for us it raises real questions of antitrust.
How interesting.
This is where Congress steps in. The concern was that this practice was outrageous, it was anti-competitive, so in the fall of 1999, the Senate held a hearing.
Oh, did they? It was like 99. They're all, yeah, we did that like 2 years ago. They're like, it was in 99. They're all,
Of the 79 we talked to, every single one of them said, if we tell our story, we're going to get knocked off the shelves where we are now. Only 3 small business owners would testify at that Senate hearing. And 2 of those were from behind screens with disguised voices.
Oh, really? Wow.
Today on the grocery store shelves, we are being eliminated to the point where it is not.
So if they're doing that on the grocery shelf for those products, what are they doing on YouTube and Google searches and all this other stuff? Like, I wonder where they're placing your product in the search results and which order. If these guys are scared to come out for food, I mean, what happens when you come out against those types of digital services that are collecting your user data and then using it for benefit, for profit? Like, I'm just going to throw away my user data. It's not valuable to me. It's valuable to someone else, but I don't want it. I don't want to get paid for it. I just want to keep going around using it, creating it, and just giving it over for free.
Additional funds.
Alright, we're heading over here to Wally World again. I need to get some propane so I can grill these burgers on this nice rainy day, or this nice snowy or winter day, or whatever it is. It's like a wintry day.
Working together toward their financial goals. Support for NPR comes from this station and from Elsevier,
Oh, it does
a global
it?
information analytics business comprised
See?
of dedicated staff.
Why would they build an entire business off just data analytics? And then why would people go and submit all of their data and not knowing that these are being collected and it's turning into enterprises for people that are not even them, you know? They're using the products that we're making as we go through our digital lives and coming through, scooping that up, and then making enterprises off that. But you don't get anything. You get to use the email. That's, you're lucky enough. Alright, so I don't know. I want to go check out. Let's see how it works, but I might have to go to Best Buy, see what they got. As far as, I don't know if they carry office furniture, but it's like I need a chair. I need an office chair. I don't know if I'll be able to score one today. Definitely looking for one though.
Therapeutic strategy.
More on that strategy coming up in this next half hour. All things considered, that report coming up at about 6:25.
Now you can have the 91.5 KRCC newsletter highlighting the week's local and national news.
Oh, great. I want news from special interest groups to tell me how to think and what to buy and what kind of public transportation to take and what kind of small apartments to live into, and then creating the cost of living so unbearable that I have to go and beg for money while having open borders for illegals to enter and then giving them benefits packages. Please give me that news. Please.
Camps, overnight camps at Mission Wolf, and nature camps in Pueblo and Beulah. K through 12th grades welcome. Hikeandlearn.org. 36 degrees.
There's
in
Best
downtown
Buy.
Springs at the 6 o'clock hour.
I'm not sure it's going to be worth it.
Calling for cool temperatures. In fact, there are freeze and frost warnings and watches across most of the eastern plains.
I don't think it's going to be worth it.
Winter weather advisories and storm warnings still for a good chunk of the high country through at least 6 a.m. tomorrow, and good depth for precipitation in some form or another throughout most of this area as well. Sunny forecast does call for warming and drying conditions as we get into news from NPR is next. Things considered. That's the evening edition of Marketplace.
So the temperature's going to increase again, and then it's after this.
Live from NPR News.
Here we go. I listen to NPR News so it can piss me off.
Appears to have eased his position on whether special counsel Robert Mueller should testify before Congress. Here's NPR's Maura Elias.
Democrats wanted Mueller to appear before the House Judiciary Committee to testify on May 15th, but that hasn't been settled. The president has gone back and forth on this, tweeting that he didn't want Mueller to testify in public, and now, in an exchange with reporters at the White House, saying it was up to Bill Barr.
Well, I'm going to leave that up to our very great Attorney General, and he'll make a decision on that.
Trump's remarks came as the White House battles with Congress over the release of an unredacted version of Mueller's findings. On Wednesday, the House Judiciary Committee voted to hold Attorney General Barr in contempt of Congress for missing its deadline to turn over the report. That followed a decision by President Trump to assert executive privilege over the entire document and underlying materials. Maura Eliason, NPR News, Washington.
So
Chinese
what?
companies that
Here we go. Here's Chinese. Now we're going to kiss Chinese ass. Watch.
On the outcome of the latest round of U.S.-China trade talks being held in Washington. Those firms waiting to see whether an agreement could stave off another round of threatened U.S. tariffs on $200 billion in Chinese goods that would take effect at 1 minute after midnight. President Trump saying Chinese backsliding in the discussions last week threatened to ratchet up those tariffs to 25% from 10%. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos has unveiled a lunar lander, as NPR's Jeff Thornfield explains. He says it can take astronauts.
Oh God, this guy wiped out. Look at him up there.
A full-size model of his lunar lander.
What the
at
fuck?
an event
Did you
in
see
Washington,
that?
D.C.
This is
I don't know if he did that shit on purpose or
like
what.
The lander the astronauts used to
that
touch
dude
down on
spinned
the
out.
moon 50 years ago.
I think I got it on camera.
Fitted with state-of-the-art technology and a lot
Jeff Bezos. Oh yay, we love you. Please kill my economy.
Tons onto the lunar surface.
Bezos says this
He's going to build something on the lunar surface.
Astronauts as part of an ambitious Trump administration plan to return to the moon by 2024. Closer to Earth, his space company Blue Origin said.
Every time they mention Trump, they're all, and then he wants to do this, and then he wants to do that, and that's not going to even work. And they're not even talking about GDP, they're not talking about unemployment numbers, they're not talking about historical numbers altogether that have to do with our economy. They're just like, and China, and then he's going to go and tax them at midnight, and he wants to go to the lunar, and he's ambitious. That's all it is, dude, this crybaby fucking network. You got CNN, you got NPR, they're both fucking corporate news network, crybaby network. Anything that's good for the American people is bad for them. Look right here to the left. These are illegals right here. Let me turn at them a little bit. See that? I don't know if you can see them or not. Those are illegals right there. They're all over the place. And I wonder what kind of benefits packages they're getting. Getting health care, for sure. That's how you create a one world healthcare system, is you make so many dependent people come in, make it a big ass problem, and say, that's why we just need a single payer healthcare for the government to take over, because there's too many third world people here, and they got the measles and sickness, and now the CDC and emergency. That's what this is all about. Alright, I'm gonna go in. I'll leave this on, just in case anybody messes with it.